Bismillah, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for your kindness. And ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਕੀ ਆ, ਇੰਨਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਚੰਗਾ ਖਾਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ। ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੋਲੀਏ ਯਾਰ। ਸਾਰਾ ਖੂਨ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਆਕਸੀਜਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ, ਇੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ। ਸੋ forgive me if something is not right. Okay. Number two, I mean, we are born outside the subcontinent. ਕਦੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ, ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ ਯਾਰ, ਬਹੁਤ 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 ਪਿਆਰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਤੇ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੀ ਰਹੇ। God bless you all. So thank you very much for that. Next, I think I've been attending conferences with my brother, Professor Khalid, since 2016. So when we benefit from a great conference, we must give thanks to the people who thought about it, who logistically brought us through, be it the leader, be it his team. We've got a wonderful team. I landed here midnight almost, and they were there, and bringing people midnight to your location. It's not easy, and I can tell you, not everyone do it. Not everyone does it. So thank you very much for it. And of course, finally, the institution, the Department of Political Science, International Relations, and the faculty here in UCP. So a great job. Now, we don't have time. 15 minutes are not fair. But the theme of populism and challenge to democracy could not have come either at a better or a worse time. And you are going to be the generation. We are going to see this, witness this, how it's operationalized, probably benefit or lose from it. So this conference is critical. Probably by evening tomorrow when we leave, I think good to know what have we achieved, what are the takeaways, what are the gems, okay? And how can each and every one of us mine it to benefit from it rather than the other way around. So let me start by first quickly sharing with you what I call Magnificent Seven. And that is, in summary, how populism is a threat. We heard this morning in the opening session. Probably you're going to keep hearing from all of us again and again in one form or another. So here I go. What has populism done to democracy? Contemporary democracy. We can debate till the cows come home what is democracy. Whether it's a threat or not a threat, you can argue, but this is how I go. One, we heard this morning how it has weakened checks and balances in democracy. And what can we do to manage that? Number two, the growing disrespect for the rule of law by those who are in power because of this beast called populism. Number three, and we all are going to face it, either we are already or when you go overseas you face it, the rising polarization of society through we versus them. Okay? And this is very often we, the political minority, against the majority. That if you happen to be on the winning side, you'll say, Tika. But if you're on the losing side, what does it mean? I mean, I travel like hell. Every time I'll go to the West and they say, ek Arabi aa gaya. Ek Arabi aa gaya. To Sardar no hai sadna, I tell you. But we face it. We go through it. Both my children are like me too, and they are confronted with those kind of difficulties. Number four, after decades, years, centuries of talking about how gem democracy is, today people all over who believe in this kind of populism are championing. Remember, I'm talking in general terms, are championing the polarization and exclusionary policies. What does it mean? We heard it this morning, again you hear this. Next, threatening all kinds of minority rights, be it through championing of the importance of majoritarianism, and at the same time, overt, open discrimination against the other. So, how does that square with democracy when democracy is supposed to be a protection for all within the ambit of a system? How democracy has been undermined through the disrespect for democratic processes and how authoritarianism, which is increasingly accepted because of populism. And finally, how society, a modern society, which took centuries to develop, has become threatened because of the appeal of emotional, because of misinformation and propaganda. All of a sudden, wrong is right. Then what do we do? So these are broadly 7 things. So very quickly, I want to share with you all. This is my abstract, which you can get. So what are we talking about? What aspect of populism are we talking about? And where is the evidence? So you don't have to go through. You see all that. And how actually populism plays a part in the modern environment through the mobilization of the latest ICT, information and communication technology. You can get, quote unquote, radicalized in honor and in defense of populism through all these mechanisms, and how they ostensibly implement policies. Look at Donald Trump, look at a number of leaders in Europe, that we are championing the poor, we are championing the disenfranchised, and so on and so forth. So populist strategies have got this phenomena of Robin Hoodism. That is a Robin Hood. And a Robin Hood is supposed to be so-called bad guy, but good. So are we seeing that aspect? Or are we simplifying this? That is much more deeper than that. Something worth talking about. So what is populism? Again, it's going to be repeated. Everyone has his own definition. I take this one, that it appeals to people, and it moves people, and then put people into power. This is about political populism. There are other forms of populism. So I think this is what it is, and then how it comes about. Me and you basically can be part and parcel of that process. Is that for the good or better? It's a question worth asking. What are the attractions? If populism had no attraction, it would not be where it is. It will not be where it is. So there must be, for some people, the goodness of populism. And I suspect there is. There is. So you look at that, how it helps. Because of the rise of economic insecurity for some, people get easily captivated by the promise of the greater good. That if you put me to power, I shall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I shall get rid of all the immigrants, among others. You are where you are because of the immigrants, whether you are legalized or illegalized, whatever. So one dimension of the appeal. And in democracy, is that wrong? Worth thinking about. Number 2, how it creates distrust in the system at individual levels and within institutions. Third, how they play upon cultural and other issues, including identity issues. So populism looks very phenomenal in terms of sending messages across and therefore effecting a change. We are not surprised Donald Trump became president, partly because something was wrong with the other side. So maybe therein lies one of the remedial measures to overcome people like this if we complete and conclude their bad, okay? The media, we're going to have sessions here. How the media plays a game and a part in it. Remember the first term of Donald Trump? Fake news, fake news, fake news. That's the game he played, and after a while, you tell a lie 10 times, it becomes the truth. So the role of the media. And at the same time, we are surrounded at a very funny time in history. This morning, Professor Khalid and the others spoke about we being at the crossroads. We have got multiple crises and uncertainties. This is very unsettling. All the more in the developed world. Whereas we in the South are used to this. Not the developed world. Whoever imagined there will be a war in Europe today? Whoever imagined after Second World War we're going to see what is happening there? So when Yugoslavia broke up and there was violence, we said, oh yeah, that's exceptional. But today? So this kind of crisis plays a part in creating an appeal. And finally, the polarization. When you are polarized and people can explain why, I'm a counter-terrorist specialist. No mother gives birth to a terrorist. But you become one over time. When somebody comes and say, hey, you got grievances. But grievances alone are not enough. If grievances is the reason for why someone becomes a terrorist, then the whole of Africa and South Asia would have been terrorists long, long ago, centuries ago. No. You have grievances. Somebody weaponizes that terrorism or that grievances. Somebody gives an ideology to it, and somebody gives enterprise. Somebody gives agency to it, and you say, good to kill and good to die. That's the greatest good you can do. And in the same way, this phenomena have a parallel to that. Worth thinking about. Sorry. Attractions, very bad slide, but the benefits of populism quite clear. I don't want to go through that, but is this one the main focus of mine? I mentioned Magnificent Seven. So populism is a threat to democracy because of the way it erodes institutional checks and balances, the way it simplifies very complex issues. You tell people you are down there because of them, even though all these years this was part and parcel of that ecosystem. So all of a sudden you have number two, difficulties in a society being blamed on a third party. What's going on? Okay. Third, how it undermines the very thing which we were talking about. It took from the Athenians to where we are. And even in the cradle of democracies like the West, you see this phenomena emerging. So is it because that it has succeeded in doing something because of the rise of a phenomena of marginalization, anomie, and so on and so forth? And finally, this would not have happened had not Point 5 emerged. In every time this thing develops, there's always a hero. There's always someone who has the capacity and ability to mobilize and play with it, be it on the emotions or be it on the issues. And this gained traction because people get convinced. So the modern media at the backdrop of all kinds of issues, which will tend to get worsened in the coming years, but at the same time you need a hero figure. You need someone with gravitas. You need someone who is charismatic. Donald Trump is an extremely intelligent man. A very smart man. Don't ever think he is crazy and mad. No. He is smart. He wants MAGA. Who do not want MAGA? We heard about Pakistan wanting to be a developed country. My country wants to be a developed country. Everybody wants to make their countries great. But for him, this is the answer. And as a result, he becomes very convincing. He has a group of people behind him. I mean, you imagine Elon Musk joining him. In fact, my view is this, I may be wrong. I see two alter egos surfacing there, Trump and Musk. And probably if we want to stop this phenomena, just wait for the two alter egos to clash. But still, you need that person. How come the other side can develop a hero figure and not this side? Donald Trump easily vanquished his opponent. So in any society, if you want to see phenomena like this and manage it, then, and this is something to think about, then the other side needs to do something. In any political contestation, there is, for example here, the populist side, those so-called against the populist side. But look, who brings the populist to power? It doesn't fall from the sky, you know. It's because the other side is not strong enough, convincing enough, attractive enough. And eventually, the masses come missing. The masses get convinced. The masses follow through. So you have a shepherd. You have a Moses who bring people across the Red Sea. So you need this triangle to see how it works, why it works, and tomorrow, why it will not work. And that's some of the things we need to bear in mind as we move forward. I finish here. In the interest of time, sir, I will stop. But I think the whole purpose of mine was, you know what is populism, but don't ever forget, populism is also very attractive for some people. And that's in a democratic right to do so. At the same time, it do create issues. So our job as students and thinkers and scholars is look at the dynamics of this and say, do we want this phenomena to continue, or do we need to moderate this phenomena, or do we need to put this phenomena put the genie back into the bottle? Personally, I don't think it's possible. But let's talk about it, and then we move on. Thank you very much. I'll stop here. Okay.